Was there any kind of what was the sexual education like from your parents, from anybody? Did you have anything?
I never had the birds and the bees type of talk.
So how did you find out about sex, or what was porn? And how old were you?
Baby.
How old were you?
I was probably like 8.
Oh,
And I found it like on those late night HBO channels.
that sounds like that BlackBerry guy.
And I was like, what's going on here? She seems to like that. I want to like something like that. And so I was watching porn from a really young age.
The following podcast is for informational purposes only and does not constitute legal, medical, or any type of professional advice. While we strive to provide accurate and up-to-date information, laws and regulations surrounding sexuality, relationships, and consent can vary by location and are subject to change. If you have specific legal or medical concerns, we strongly recommend consulting with a licensed professional in your jurisdiction. Listener discretion is advised, as this podcast may discuss adult themes and sensitive topics. By continuing to listen, you confirm that you are 18 years or older. Welcome to the Siren of Freedom podcast, sounding the alarm by bringing clarity and freedom to the realm of sexuality. Our aim is to give others a place to share their stories and release themselves from the weight of shame and guilt. Welcome to the Siren of Freedom podcast. I'm your host, Siren. I have my producer, Socrates, here.
What's good, y'all? What's good?
Consequently, my husband as well. And today we are interviewing our friend Eve, all the way from the South. She came to the Pacific Northwest to visit us today, so we have her live in studio, or our living room, I guess. How are you tonight, Eve?
I am fantastic. Happy to be here. Super excited.
Glad that you could make it. I'm glad all your flights worked out today. We have another friend on the way who is not so fortunate in the flight category, but we will see them soon. So, like always, we just want to hear like how you grew up, your family dynamic, as much as you want to tell about brothers, sisters, parents, all of that good stuff. So kick us off.
Awesome. So my name's Eve. I'm originally from New York. Was born in the city, and then we moved out to Yonkers when I was like 4 or 5. Grew up in a predominantly Italian neighborhood, but I am actually Hispanic. So Spanish Caribbean, Cuban, and Dominican, which is an interesting mix. And I didn't learn Spanish in New York. I actually learned Spanish in Florida when we moved here in like 97. Or there, I should say. And, my parents worked a lot. My dad had a body shop. My mom was a realtor. Transitioned all of that down here, or down there. And
You can just stay down here. We know that you're talking about Florida.
yeah, fair. But yeah, I mean, I grew up racing cars, and I definitely was like what I would say is a silver spoon baby. Catholic school my whole life up until high school. Still learning Spanish all through high school, which was crazy because it took me a really long time to accept it.
Yeah. What kind of cars did you race?
So I started with go-karts when I was like 7, which is why my driving record sucks. And we were racing RX-7s, Auto House BMWs. My dad did body work for all of that, so he would weld the cages, the roll cages. And he would basically build it to like our specifications. We had Hondas, we had S2000, Mazda Miatas.
Yeah. Did you do like official racing? So did you like win prizes and stuff like that?
You could. I mean, we did it through the SCCA, and it was like track racing, things like that.
Nice. My family in the Midwest grew up in racing, and I always said if I grew up there, then I would have been racing right along my cousins because it was so cool. My grandpa did like stock car racing and
Oh, that's awesome.
a lot of cool stuff. So I love the race life.
Yeah,
Got
I
to talk to
definitely
some more
get
about
that
that.
nostalgia from like the smell of oil.
Yeah, we have a little racetrack here. It's nothing like that, but yeah, my grandma will still watch like all the races and go to as many as she can. So
That's
so continue on with the Spanish speaking. I still only know like 6 words, so I know you're way ahead of me on that one.
yeah. I'm fluent now. But the easiest way for me to learn was actually salsa
Mhm.
dancing.
Mhm.
Because you'd listen to the sounds like and the music, and you just wanted to move, and then you start to sing the songs, even though you don't know the words.
Mhm.
So it was a lot of fun learning Spanish in that way. But my parents had me with a tutor for like 6 months. Boy, and I hated that lady. And she knew it. She knew I hated her because I was just like, how are you teaching me Spanish and you don't speak English? How is this gonna work?
Mhm.
So it was really interesting. And every day that I was tutored, my mom would come pick me up and the lady would be like, she still hates me. Because they would talk to me about all of uh all of their feedback. So it was interesting. It was an interesting time. I learned most of my Spanish through salsa dancing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Socrates is a salsa dancer. We tried to take some lessons and then he ended up with an injury. So I still haven't learned.
We can learn together.
I am not. Oof, the coordination level is like ugh, for me. I tried lots of different things to become more coordinated, but it's like 2 left feet. I just have fun with it. I'll just smile and laugh because, oh,
Hey, as long as you're having fun, I don't care what it looks like.
right?
Yeah,
That's what you have to focus on.
the fun part.
So you have brothers, sisters?
I do. I'm actually, I'm the youngest. I'm the spoiled brat in the family. Still the spoiled brat, self-proclaimed. My brother and my sister would probably be like, yeah, she's spoiled. My brother is 10 years older than me,
Mhm.
and my sister's 13 years older than me.
Oh, wow. So were you like the surprise caboose?
No, so my mom's family dynamic was kind of crazy back in the day. She's the Cuban one, and she got pregnant to get away from her parents, but she went to an alcoholic, and so my brother and my sister, I don't look at them like they're half or step or whatever it's called, but they are actually from a different father.
Okay.
So my dad met my mom at my sister's figure skating practice because he was the rink ref that was like the safety for that evening. Man, and then he took her on their first date to this new burger spot that had opened across the street called McDonald's.
Aw. So you do have a special spot in your heart for McDonald's,
Yeah, I
right?
really do. Those snack wraps, though. Listen, all of that stuff delicious. But yeah, I mean, interesting. They had a really interesting situation because my dad showed up right around my time. Like my brother had gotten sick and he was sick for like 4 or 5 years with leukemia.
Mm.
And he stuck around for all of that. And so when he got cleared, my dad was like, I want a kid. And my mom was like, okay. And he's like, I just want one. And that was me. Ta-da.
When it's perfect, you don't need to continue.
Exactly. This is why I'm spoiled.
I used to tell my sister, who's a lot younger than me, the next one, I used to say, "Well, I was perfect, and so mom and dad just wanted to enjoy me for as long as possible. But then you came along and it couldn't get any worse, so they decided to just go ahead and have as many kids as possible." Bam, bam, bam.
How many siblings do you have?
A lot.
Holy cow.
I don't say the exact number on here.
Fair. Valid.
Try to be vague on some things.
Fair. Understood.
A bunch, a bushel and a peck. I'll tell you off microphone.
Valid.
So, were you guys religious at all? Well, you said the Catholic school, but
Yeah.
did you go to church too or just
Yeah, well, that was a requirement of Catholic school in New York. You had to go to church on Sundays, and they needed to see you to be like, "Yep, she was here."
yeah,
Um,
check you off?
right, exactly.
And
You gotta check them boxes, you know? And so I grew up Catholic school my whole life. Very Hispanic family in that sense. So we had like saints all over the place too.
Mhm.
Um, which just comes from Cuba. But My grandmother always did stuff like that. She always had people over for like after mass lunch or dinner or whatever, and that was just how I ended up growing up. Even though nobody else in my family went to church. Nobody. It was just me. My grandfather would come with me. He'd drop me off and he'd pick me up in an hour.
Was there any kind of what was the sexual education like from your parents, from anybody? Did you have anything?
I never had the birds and the bees type of talk.
So how did you find out about sex, or what was
Porn.
porn? And how old were you?
Baby.
How old were you?
I was probably like 8.
Oh,
And I found it like on those late night HBO channels.
that sounds like that BlackBerry guy.
And I was like, what's going on here? She seems to like that. I want to like something like that. And
Mhm,
so I was watching porn from a really young age.
mhm.
Just because I was like, she sounds like she's having fun.
Yeah. And what did you do besides thinking that it sounded fun, like, what else did you think about it?
I mean, I had never seen men and women interact that way
Right,
because I was 8, right?
right. So that's a good thing.
So yeah, and I was just like, oh, interesting stuff. And so I was just like, oh, maybe one day I'll do that. But in my head, I was just kind of like, this is just something adults do.
Yeah. Did you ask anybody about it or any questions of any grown-ups?
I had heard my brother get yelled at over staying up late and watching the bad channels.
Oh,
So I was like, and that's really how I found it. I was like, I want to know what the bad channels are.
yeah.
And I'm here thinking it's like guns and
Violent,
people, like gore.
bleeding.
Yeah. And I used to think that's what
You're
that
like,
was.
"Oh, it's just naked people making noises."
Yeah, it sounds like they're having fun doing these noises, and when their skin slaps, I was like, "What does that?" Yeah, so it was interesting. The bad channels.
The pet channels. And so at what age did you, like, discover, like, what was actually, like, you got the knowledge of, like, this is what it actually is, it's actually sex, and
Probably when I moved here. I was probably like 12 years old, and I wonder if it was because I got my period, like as a for the first time type of thing,
mhm.
and I was just like, "That feels good." But I
Your
didn't have
period?
no, not my period, but like the nerves, it's like they bloomed
Mhm.
in those months.
Right.
And I was like, what is this feeling? And then I discovered how to give myself that type of pleasure.
Mhm.
And I was just like, this is why they do that. Because a lot of the times at the beginning of whatever you're watching, they're playing with themselves. They play with each other in those ways, like just touching genitals.
Mhm.
And so I was like, oh, well, fake it till you make it. So I'm going to try it out. So I tried it out and it felt so good. And I was like, this is amazing. Why don't people do this all the time?
Because they have to have jobs. Ah.
Yeah, but I was what, 12?
Mhm.
I didn't have a job yet.
Yeah, you're like, "Why do we have to go to school? Why can't we
Yeah,
just
what is this crap?
lay in bed and"
And osmosis, intelligence through osmosis. I wish.
right? And so you discovered masturbation,
Mhm.
and then, tell us about, like, your first sexual experience with a partner.
So I actually didn't have sex until I was 18.
Mhm.
And I had just got to college the first time. I never been to like a college campus like that. Met this guy. He was like 24. You know how they have those 7-year freshmen, right? People that are just always in school and never
Right.
seem to finish anything.
Mhm.
He was one of those, and I graduated before him, which is crazy. And I asked him for it. Like we had been dating for like a month or two, and I was still a virgin at 18, just started college, and I was like, I want to have sex.
And he didn't put any, like, moves on you or, like, propose it before that?
We had been in conversation around it.
Mhm.
And we did all of the other stuff, right? The kissing, the blowjob, getting eaten out, which was not good. Like the whole sexual experience with him was just not good.
Mhm.
And I was like, no, no, it doesn't equate to what I see on the screens. So There has to be there has to be more. He just wasn't good at it. And that's when I blossomed, so to say, from there. And I was just all over the place with all types of people.
So, but when back up a little bit, you went to the conversation with having sex with him,
hmm
and then how did that go down?
We
Your
had
actual
actually
first time.
we had actually gone on a date. We went on a date, and um, when we were coming back home after dinner, we had some sexy talk, all of the sexy talk type of thing, and then he dropped me off at home. We didn't do anything, and I got real frustrated because I was like, "Man, this guy's taking too long. I'm trying to give it up, and he's just taking too long. Like, this playing hard to get stuff isn't working out for me." And it never did work out for me. And so I called him up. He had got home already. He had texted me that he got home, and I called him up, and I was like, "Come back and get me. I want to have sex, like with gusto. I want to have sex tonight." And I was in like a long shirt PJ
Mhm.
with like Minnie Mouse on it.
Yeah.
Um, and 18-year-old me, this guy comes back, pick me up. And then we go to his apartment where he lives with his mom. And we have sex very quietly in his room. Um, yeah. And I know now that that's not the type of man that I like or the size that I like or any of that. And that's why it just wasn't good for me.
Mhm.
Um, and then again, from there, I just was like, I'm going to find the good sex.
Was that, like, awkward, though, with his mom being, like, in the same place? Because one time in my adult years, this guy invited me over, and I walk in, and there is an old man sitting in the living room, and this guy lives with his dad and didn't tell me
Oh,
before I got
no.
there, and I still, like he had a hot tub, though, to be fair, he had a hot
Oh,
tub,
that's a
so
weakness.
oh, so of course I was staying, and then the dad, and then I just same was very quiet, and then I had to do the walk of shame past the dad on the way out. I'm like, what the hell?
That's hysterical.
So I'm just wondering, like, was the mom sitting in the living room, like in her robe, quilting or something or knitting?
No, it was really late at night. She was already asleep.
Oh, good.
So if I did make noise, which I didn't, he was already like covering my mouth with his hand.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is not fun. And it doesn't feel like very much.
It doesn't feel like the movies.
Right. It doesn't feel like what's on the screen.
So after that, you said you blossomed. Did you break up with him? Be like, your dick is trash. I can't do this.
I
Why?
mean,
What happened?
I didn't say it like that, but I definitely was like, I'm really young and I want to experience a few other things before I really like settle down with somebody. I'm not ready to get married to anyone because he was a little older and he's like trying to have kids
Mhm.
and I am not trying to have kids. And so it was just interesting the way that he went about it and how upset he was. We were together maybe 4 months and he was mad at me for like a year. And then eventually we ended up like being able to laugh about it and rekindle the friendship. But yeah, I was like, I have so much more to experience out there. I can't just kiss you for the rest of my life.
Mhm.
Um, and I remember exactly where we were, exactly where we were sitting. We were at the mall in the back of like parking lot in the dark. It was really late at night, and I'm telling him all of this. And I literally was like, it's not you, it's me. And he's like, I don't want to hear that shit. I'm tired of this. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, I'm sorry. This is just not going to work.
Was that a pattern, like, moving forward that you would break up with people before they could break up with you? I'm just curious because that has definitely was a pattern for me, is that I would just be like, "You know what? And then they would be like, "Why?"
No. I mean, for the most part, I'd probably say I haven't had too many boyfriends,
Mhm.
like actual dedicated, serious
Yeah,
boyfriends.
me neither.
So I think I could probably count like 5 boyfriends that I had that were serious, and only one of them broke up with me. I don't know
Right.
that I would say that it was a pattern, more so as because I always felt like I was worshipped in those situations. So if anything, that they were scared to lose me.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Well, that still is a pattern, anything that occurs, more than
Oh,
1 or 2 times.
yeah.
Um, but the same as I just always felt like, man, I didn't date anyone before my first husband, and
Mhm.
then after that, I was like, "Okay, if I'm gonna be with somebody, I need to be, like, 100% all in,
Mhm.
or else I'm just gonna be doing the same thing that my ex-husband did to me, which was not
Right.
be all in." So, I would always break up with guys most of the time because, I was like, right around the corner could be the love of your life that's 100%, that's all in for you, and I'm not.
Oh.
So, I always was like, "I don't wanna do you a disservice." I had, like, almost kinda like survivor's guilt, though, you know what I mean? So, I don't know if it was noble or if it was actually just me pushing away before I could get hurt, you know what I mean?
Gosh.
Type thing. So but
Okay.
I don't regret it because then when I met my husband, Socrates, then I was like, "Oh, I am all in for this one."
You could tell the difference.
Right.
Yeah, I see that.
So so
Hmm.
you what are we gonna call this guy? Your first boyfriend,
Let's
really?
let's call him Jack.
Jack. Okay. So Jack is out of the picture now.
Mhm.
Then what is Eve doing with her life after that?
Ooh, I decided to go crazy at the gym because
Oh,
yeah, so
tell me more.
My type is like you don't have to be ripped, but I like my men strong because I like to get dragged around and all of that. And so I started at the gym with there was a trainer there who actually I'm really good friends with now, and we've messed around for years. And that's how I knew
How did that start though? Like,
yeah,
I want to hear the juicy story of like
the juicy bit.
how you got the gym rat.
Oh, yeah, and he was like the head of personal trainers. And I tried getting friendly and friendlier every time I saw him. And eventually I just started saying, "Hi, how are you? How's your weekend?" Making those little conversations. And it was always a little awkward whenever my dad was at the gym too,
At the same time?
at the same time. Because the whole family went to the same gym.
You're trying to run game and your dad's like over in the corner.
People from the corner, like, what are you doing? Um, and that's when I realized like I love chocolate men.
Mhm.
And he's one of them. He's tall, Jamaican, beautiful, like long, lean, and muscular. And so I just kept kind of talking to him probably over a period of like 2 months.
Mhm.
I had just graduated high school. I was legal now because I'm 18. Um, I dated Jack. And then once I was done with Jack, I had had my eye on this guy. And I was just like, okay, Jim Rat, here we go.
Mhm.
Went down to his house, did the whole thing. It was amazing.
No, you're skipping all the good stuff.
Oh, you want the details, bruh.
Yeah, girl, that's what this podcast is all about. The
Um,
the the slut diaries, the
oh, I got you. Yeah, I
yeah.
mean,
Like, how did you finally hook him?
I went down okay, so I said something real sassy to him. Because we were talking
I
about
like your style.
yeah, we were talking about the weekend and what I did for the weekend. Um, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't be part of it." And I was like, "You could, but you sitting here slow stepping like you have somewhere to be." And moving slow as hell out here, turtle man. Like, so finally I guess I shocked him with that, and he, like, a week later was like, "Come down to the house, let's have a nice little time."
Mhm.
So I go down there, he has a gym in the living room, and I was like, "This is definitely like a man house."
Right.
Bachelor house supreme. He lived with his brother or whatever, and his brother I was like, "Hey, bro, what's up, brother?" Um, and he was only there for a short time, so I never really got my hands on him. But yeah, like, that was the first time that I was just like, "Oh, these chocolate man are amazing.
They know what the fuck they're doing.
What?" And they have the resources and tools to do things with.
She said resources and tools, Socrates.
Yes.
What do you think of that, Socrates?
Yes, the black man's been through a lot, but God has blessed us with a few
Oh.
things to help us get through.
This is, and that's really how I discovered that I like bigger penises, bigger men.
Mhm.
Because I was just like, ooh, the stretch, and all of the other good stuff, and I was just like, this is where it's at.
Mm.
This is what I made it. I found it.
Oh, I'm so happy for you because you found it so much earlier than I did.
Oh,
Like, I just feel excited that people are out there like finding that like sooner. You know what I mean? I don't feel like, oh man, I don't have any because I know I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my life with this gorgeous black man across from me.
yeah.
But I just feel that's like exciting to me. I'm like, she could have
Mhm.
like all this time. She like knew early on. It's like discovering your favorite food.
Oh man.
Like when you're young and then you just know you can have this for the rest of your life.
But it's hard to find though. It's so hard to find, which I think is part of like the blessing of it too.
Mhm.
So, man, it was so hard to find more men that like could give you that.
You got the best early on, and then you're like, "Damn
Where's
it,"
the rest of them?
right?
Look at 'em.
So, how did you discover like, where did it go from there? So you messed around with him for years, then
Mm. Yeah, I was with him on and off of relationships. So like I grew up very monogamous. And anytime I would get in a relationship, I'd be like, all right, homie, you know, I'm dating monogamous. I don't cheat.
Mhm.
Cause no. And if this doesn't work out, I'll give you a call.
Yeah.
And we
So
did
he
that.
was your in-between guy.
Yeah, and he was like so dedicated and like regular, stable. I loved it. I loved that I could just be like, "What's up? I'm coming by." And he was very complimentary
Mhm.
is probably the best way to say it. And then I just, I got a little bolder as I was just making friends along the way.
Mhm.
Meeting people at bars, just I've always been friendly and very approachable. So it was always easy for me to make friends. And I was a big girl. Like I grew up as a big girl. I was a butterball. I played sports. I was very much a tomboy. I always smelled like car grease or sweat because I was playing softball or volleyball or something.
Mhm.
Um, and I got bullied all through school. And so finding that confidence as I don't know that I would call myself an adult at that time yet, but I would probably, finding that
A young
confidence.
adult. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and just knowing too, like, my first marriage and the men before that, well, I would just say who I was interested in, were not black. And so that was one of the things that I was like, "Man, I have found my people," because they do appreciate some
Mhm.
thickness on you, right?
Mhm.
So being a big girl was actually a good thing, where as a lot of the world looks at that negatively.
Mhm.
And so, after I got divorced and I discovered that I too like enjoyed black men, then that was one of the biggest things is I was like, "Oh, they actually think they think I'm skinny."
Wow. They
Right?
throw
Like
me around
like I weighed 180 pounds and this one guy's like, who's been feeding you? Like, we gotta help you out, like
because they wanted them thick.
right.
I love it.
So, and my husband's no different. So just, that was an asset for you. It's like
Mhm.
being able and you're like, and they feel good what else are some other things that you enjoy about black men?
I mean, I feel like black men have to go through a lot of things in general in life that a lot of other men might not have to go through.
Right.
So I will, I worry for some, my partners
Mhm.
because I'm like, man, I have to worry if you get stopped
Mhm.
at wherever by the police, especially considering where they are, those partners.
Right.
So I feel like that intelligence that they kind of gain because of those types of situations that
It's a
they're
it's a
put in.
heightened awareness.
Right. And a
Yeah.
patience. At least my partners, the patience that they have, because I am not an easy woman.
Same, sister, same.
Right. I'm not an easy woman. I think, which a lot of people would probably laugh at that I'm a very simple woman, but I'm very direct. So
Mhm,
I know me. I know what's gonna piss me off, what's gonna make me happy. I might as well just tell you what that is right off the bat.
mhm.
And I'm pretty easygoing about deviating from that, but give me those things.
Right.
So listen, they have the patience to be able to deal with something like that, I think. With all of the stuff that they have to deal with on a regular. Like that level of intelligence and awareness, really, really
Yeah.
important to me, very interesting.
Well, and I think sometimes with, like, a more sassy and, outgoing woman, they're not so prone to, like, take all of our little, I'll just call them what they are, tantrums,
Mhm.
seriously along
Mhm.
the way. They're just like, "Listen here, woman." You know what I mean? And that's what always something that I needed and never had, like, in a healthy manner until black men came along. And then I was like, "Oh, what is this?"
Mhm.
He's like, "Sit down. I'm gonna make dinner," and I'm like, "Whoa, okay, yes, sir,"
Mhm.
and just that calm sense of security that they bring as far in general, because like people be like, "Oh, it's all about the dick." Well, the dick is a bonus, okay? The dick is a bonus, and not every black man has a big
Mhm.
one.
Mhm. Right.
Trust me,
It's true.
I've been around enough to find out. But there's so many other things like what you were talking about, and then just the cultural experiences and the way they speak. And I would have another guy that would be like barely able to breathe while asking me to coffee. Oh, would you like to go out with me sometime? And I'm like, oh, honey, right? And then the black man would just be like, hey, so you want to roll with me sometime? And I'd be like, yeah, okay, Thursday. Pick you up at 8. We're gonna do this, this, and this, and he like
Yay.
already just snapping off the plan, and then you know
And the
show up and
consistency.
and do it right, yeah. And I didn't ever have to think about what I was gonna do.
That's
I
awesome.
just get in the car, and then I knew I was gonna get fed
Mhm.
and fucked,
Mhm.
and it was gonna be great.
Yeah, and you're gonna feel like the princess, the goddess that you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. With one of my partners, like, I can't touch any door handles.
Mhm. Oh, yeah, that's the way Socrates is. In fact, when we were first dating, I found myself sitting in my truck, and I was, like, getting pissed off because he wasn't coming to open the door for me. And I was like, I was thinking, "Is he mad at me? Like, what's going on?" Because he's was like, No," practically smack my he's like that to me to the extreme, and then if we have friends with us,
Mhm.
like, I've seen him shove our friend back into the car, close the door, and then open the door again. But in this instance, I'm sitting there and I'm just getting pissed because 'cause I'm like, "Why is he not opening my door?" I'm just, like, sitting here, and then I was like, "Oh, I'm alone."
Oh, no.
I had gotten so used to it that
Oh,
I was like, I
no.
was fucking by myself, and I was like,
You were just waiting for him.
"Why is this guy?"
Were you sitting in the driver's side?
Yeah,
No.
of course I was, because I had drove myself there. But sometimes I would drive when it just depended, like, with as a general rule, I don't prefer to drive when
Mhm.
I'm with a man, I prefer the man to drive,
I agree.
but sometimes we would deviate from that, and so, it wasn't, like, completely uncommon for me to be driving, but then the whole door thing I just got used to, so
It's nice, though.
yeah,
I love that chivalry stuff.
me too.
I don't have to be, like, a full-on feminist. I can enjoy
Yeah, like where we were
the bits
talking
and
about
that.
earlier, how we can have that more dominant power everywhere else, but we don't have to have it with our man,
Exactly. That
right?
vulnerability
We
is so
can
nice.
have that soft submissive side
Mhm.
and have a break from all that because out there in regular life, we have to be or are
Yeah.
strong, badass women, right?
Mhm.
So I think that's good to just be able to finally, I felt like I
You were home.
I don't have another child. I have a man's.
That is a pattern that I fell into. I, for whatever reason, kept trying to date or talk to men that wanted me to be their mom.
Ick.
And I was just like, I don't need to date large male children.
Right.
I n I don't have kids on purpose.
Mhm.
I don't need a really big one that eats a lot, you know? And so I came to a point where I was like, "You know what? I'm just gonna date myself for a little bit."
And around what age was that?
This was probably closer to like 28, because I was like, I need to reassess what's going on here. And I had been in a really bad relationship that like fucked my head up, because the reason we broke up was that he kept asking me to lose weight, lose weight, lose weight. And I was just like, do we? Like, is this a problem? Can you just tell me if this is a problem? Because I don't feel horrible. I'm a healthy fat girl. I was still pretty big at that point. And he was like, yeah, it's becoming a factor. And that like destroyed me in my head.
Mhm.
And so we broke up. He didn't want to, but I was like, no, like I'm not gonna be with somebody that doesn't want to be with me because of my looks, because they will go away at some point. I'm going to die and get
Right.
old and that's gonna happen to me. And when I start to mature, I don't want to have to deal with you worried about the way I look.
Yeah. And that, uh, we call it snuggle meat at our house.
Oh, snuggle meat.
So,
Is that what, like, these little things right here on my hip?
anything that's extra that,
Oh,
that sticks off
yeah.
the bone that you can
Mhm.
grab, that's snuggle meat.
Yeah, I've got that.
So, when our snuggle meat starts to sag, you were like,
Yeah.
"Fuck you, buddy. I'm not gonna sit around for when you don't like that."
Right. And I really had to date myself, and I really had to figure out what it was that I wanted in a man. And he was a little younger than me. And by a little younger, it was probably younger than he needed to be. He was legal, but I was probably a little too old for him too, but I just couldn't quantify. You say you love me, but so you're negating everything before it. And I was just like, I'm over it. So yeah, I started to date myself after that. I ended up having a gastric sleeve surgery, because I was just having a hard time doing regular things.
Mhm. So, do you think that his words played a factor into that decision later, or yeah,
Yeah, most definitely. Like I took a hit.
yeah.
I took a hit because I was just like, and in an act of rebellion and maybe self sabotage, I started to eat more. Just because that was the coping mechanism. Oh yeah, too fat? I'll show you too fat.
Yeah, I did that after I got divorced.
Yeah.
I just stopped caring about what I was eating.
Hmm.
I was like, I'm just gonna find my happiness on the inside and not worry. Because before that, I was like constantly,
Yeah.
"What am I eating today? What am I? Oh, I'm gonna go to the
Yeah,
gym,
that
whatever."
obsession,
Yeah, because of my
that
ex-husband.
relationship.
Yeah. So afterwards, I was like, "Nope. Uh, half a Twix bar? No, I'm good. A fucking king size. Fuck you. I'll eat whatever I want."
Like the little bag so I could unwrap each of them. It was like a present.
Yeah. Well, and, 2, I think when you get into situations like that, it's like even my daughter has had challenges because, just that secretive eating because of always, like, poking at,
Hmm.
"What are you eating?" and, like, "What are you doing?" And
Yeah.
so people can develop a lot of issues with food
Hmm.
because of how other people treat them surrounding it.
Yeah.
So,
Uh,
it's very refreshing to be with men, um, my husband being one of them, who just encourage you to love the skin you're in, and if that is whatever size and shape that is. So, good job, babe.
Yeah.
I try, but I have to say I have really selfish reasons.
He likes the thickness, so
Mm.
but it's just nice that whatever, wait, I don't ever have to feel like, um I didn't realize I actually was around my ex-husband, and I realized at the end of the meeting, because we were having a meeting with, him about the kids, and then when I got home, well, I didn't ever eat my food. So I got a to-go box, and when I got home, I just started sobbing, and I was like, I still can't eat around him. But I didn't realize that that was, like, a thing.
Wow.
And then I just cried, and then I just ate my food, and I was like and I just thanked my husband because I was like, "Thank you that I can just eat. I never have to worry about that if I'm eating too much, too." I mean, he gives me crap about, like, I want you to fatten up and stuff." But you know what I mean? Like, that's just, like, in love, he said, and for selfish reasons, right? But there's not a pressure there to do that.
Right.
It's not like, "Oh, if you get too chunky if you don't get chunky,
Right, right.
I'm out."
The pressure is different now. The
Right,
pressure is different now. Yeah,
right.
definitely. And I appreciate like men that are able to communicate through that like in those ways.
Mhm.
I'm one to believe that everybody has their own, I don't know what you're going to call it, weight equilibrium. I don't think everybody's supposed to be a certain shape and size.
Mm-mm.
How many people have we seen who are really athletic and insanely healthy and they end up dying young?
Right. These
And
people run
then,
Yeah.
marathons.
right. And then there's people that smoke cigars their whole life, didn't, Warren Buffett drinks Coke every single day and
Yeah.
he's outlasting a lot of people, not encouraging people not to be healthy. Eat healthy, find your own healthy equilibrium,
Mhm.
but don't let these men, a lot of these men who are trying to push women into a certain body image, they're not doing it for the bullshit reasons they tell you.
Mhm.
Oh, it's your health. Oh, it's because I want you to last a long time. Or it's because this. They're doing it because they want to validate their own. I have a really skinny, attractive woman, and they want to validate it with their homies. Now,
Mhm.
that's not every dude. Some dude genuinely just likes skin and bones. Bet, no problem. But
Mhm.
don't let these dudes make you think that that's the only beauty standard. Because there's a lot of us that like curvy women,
Mhm.
and we think it's historically what women used to be considered as beautiful. It always meant to this day that you're wealthy,
Right.
that you have access to resources.
Mhm.
And so we've just hijacked that now to think that now that we're so advanced, we don't need to store fat, which is, don't get me started on all that shit. But, women realize that there's somebody out there that's going to love you at every weight. And when I met my wife, she was 40 pounds larger than she is now. But me just being around her and saying, "Look, I don't care if you're fat, skinny, whatever. I'm in love with you. I want you to just be healthy."
Mhm.
Right, I gotta interject, though, because, I actually was 25 pounds, but then I gained more than I am now, but then I gained 15 pounds because this man
Yeah, that's true.
cooked and charcuteried and all these good things, so I gained that happy weight for sure.
That's awesome.
And then I just got to a point where I was like, the reason that I wanted to lose weight is because we like to go ziplining when we travel, and we
Mhm.
also like to do water parks and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, the weight limit on most of those things is 250 pounds.
Yeah.
And I was getting close to that. I think I was like, oh, like 246. And I was like, ugh, I just can't.
Mhm.
And I'd stayed around 230 for a long time and then gained that happy weight. And so I was like, I can't do this. So it wasn't even till after we got married, then we both, started doing some different things. I found out I have a gluten intolerance.
Mhm.
So I cut that out and then lost weight. But then with my recent boob job, I gained 7 pounds
Those
with these
suckers.
ladies. And then
Yeah.
lately I've been a little lazy with the food. So I'm hovering around 216, which I'd like to stay 210. 200 to 210 would be good for me and my height and body type. So,
I have a question for you two ladies.
Mhm.
Whoever wants to start first. For you, I mean, you guys are very beautiful women, and
thank
you
you.
guys have both been through periods where you didn't like your weight,
Mhm.
but knowing both of you and your stories, you weren't having any shortage of dudes trying to holler at you.
Mm,
So
Mm.
these modern day thicker women, they're not having the problems that, we joked about in movies and life back,
Mhm.
thicker women were ignored and So what I'm noticing is that they know they can get the attention, but they still feel some small insecurity.
Mhm.
What advice would you give a woman in that area in life where she's thick, but she dresses good, she knows dudes are after her, but she's still not free to be herself sexually, personally, anything? You guys have figured that out. What advice would you give to her for that?
You want to start?
Um, I would say confidence. Fake it till you make it. Confidence. Because there's such a difference between one woman that's walking kind of slouched and maybe walking a little fast as opposed to another woman that's taking her time and knows where she's going, is on the path, has her shoulders back, has her chin up, and she's just coming at the world. Even if you don't feel like that, pretend. Your brain doesn't know the difference. Pretend, and eventually you'll get there and you will learn to love yourself just through those little acts, is what I would say is the confidence.
Mm.
I would say this is what I say to all of my friends that, especially divorced, they get a divorce. They've been with their ex-husband now for however many years, maybe since they were young. They've had children, their bodies changed, like all these different things. And I always pop off and say, in all of my hoe days of being single, no man has ever told me to put my clothes back on.
Ooh, yeah, girl.
So when you're standing there and they about to get it, then they're never like, "Oh, that stretch mark,
No,
not gonna do."
no.
The whole thing. So real men like real women.
Yes.
And so if you get to that point with somebody, it's like they're not going to criticize what you got going on. And I think that actually getting out there and being in the hoe phase after that marriage really actually built my confidence because
It did.
every single encounter that guys were like, "Your boobs look amazing. You've had 3 kids, you look great. Oh, I love the softness of, your belly or your thighs," or whatever. They were always saying something good about my
Complimentary,
body,
yeah.
and it really helped, like, one experience at a time to heal what had happened in my marriage and all of the criticism about my body. So, you know, men will help you in that journey too of that confidence.
100%.
So, get naked,
Hell yeah. Listen, they're just happy to be here.
right?
Like, they're happy that they've got you sitting in front of them in whatever position you are, just to have a great time with you,
Yeah.
to love on that body.
Now, we were saying that, like, you're simple. It's like most men are pretty simple.
Yeah.
But I think you and I are like we have that masculine energy of feed me and fuck me, and we'll
Mhm.
we'll be doing great.
Yeah. Why do we need to complicate it?
What's that? So I know we're more multifaceted than that, but
In that arena,
in that arena, we're like
pretty simple.
tacos and
Easy
dick.
fuck.
Okay.
Yeah. I got a taco for that.
Talk about it.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, we've gone to second grade.
Happened.
How much time are we at, Socrates?
48 minutes.
48 minutes? Okay, we got a few more minutes if we wanna wrap up this section, but like most of our guests, Eve does have a side for the Siren After Dark, so,
Mm.
we're getting braver and braver with our words and what we talk about on this side, but we're still not really getting to the juicy stuff, so,
Mhm.
I like that we're swearing and talking about our sexuality, and I feel like I'm getting better at being an interviewer
Mhm.
as we go by too and talking more freely. It's giving me more confidence in just talking more freely, the more freely my guests talk. So, I think we'll just wrap. Do you have any other burning questions, Socrates?
No, I just want to point out if you go to Patreon, when you're looking for the Siren of Freedom, you have to put the 18 and over um,
Oh, yeah.
Disclaimer.
mark or
Yeah.
check that off.
Yeah, make
Or
sure that you're searching for 18 and up stuff.
yeah,
Otherwise, you won't be able to find it.
or else you won't be able to find it. And if you have any questions, you can email the Siren of Freedom at gmail.com. If you have a question about a specific episode, put the episode like number and title in the subject line, and then whatever your question is, even if you can put the minute, at minute 25, you guys said X, Y, and Z, so we can kind of go to it. And
That's really nerdy.
yeah, you don't have to
But
do
there's
all
people
that.
that do that, I'm sure.
You don't have to do all that, but
But like when you were
she's
saying that
right.
one thing,
She's right. I'm very nerdy. So we'd
love
love
it.
to hear from you guys. We'd love your feedback and give us a review. So it really helps the algorithm if you guys give us a review. We want 5 stars. If you want to give me anything less, just email me and we'll fix it. No, it's playing.
I'll send him over to fix it.
Hey.
All right. Well, thank you for being here, and we'll talk to you on the other side.
No more waiting, no more chains, breaking rules, rewriting names. This is our time, this is our fire. Hear the call, we're rising higher. On your truth, live out loud. No more fear, stand up proud. You were made to rise. This is your time. Waves may crash, but we still stand. Hearts unchained, no demands. Follow the voice, hear the sound. Freedom's here, we've been found. The siren of freedom calling you home. No more hiding, let yourself roam. Rise with the tide, fearless and free. This is your destiny. Waves may crash, but we still stand. Hearts unchained, no demands. Follow the voice, hear the sound. Freedom's here, we've been found. The siren of freedom calling you home. No more hiding, let yourself roam. Rise with the tide, fearless and free. This is your destiny. Siren of freedom calling you home. No more hiding, let yourself roam. Rise with the tide, fearless and free. This is your destiny.
Thank you so much for listening today. We hope this podcast has been an encouragement to you. You can find us on our website, thesirenoffreedom.com, and also on social media and Patreon under the Siren of Freedom podcast. Your support is what helps us continue to sound the alarm of freedom.